in the spire. Let's see if we can find a registry of Maker's sigils. This looks like some kind of evacuation plan. Doing their research before enacting asylum, I'd wager. Tables with assets listed. Looks like a tabulation of supply levels. Coordination for the runners and haulers. They remained in the city for years after the surge, according to these dates. Until they enacted asylum, at any rate. Just some birth records. Surprisingly detailed.
Invaluable. We'll have to make sure Lane adds them to our archive later.
Here we go. Sigils. Ah, found it. Our creator is listed here as Lucia de Crassus. 2 registered workshops, both council approved for dangerous materials. She must have had some pull before the surge. One is here in the city, and the other, let's see. I've been there. That frozen town out in Dredger's Mire. Better wear something warm.
I think it's important we run this one down, Bryn. Your water clock is moving.
A lot of damage this high up.
Weaver's Rest. Said to be a common place for weavers in Lowtown to gather.
The record said this place was registered to our enchantress of interest, Lucia. It sure doesn't look like a saboteur or smuggler's den. On the workings of Archons by L. de Crassus. Seems promising. Dom?
Certainly topical. Probably not enough to go on by itself, though. Still significant.
That aerolith can influence the weather. Almost certainly why things are frozen over.
Malfunctioning then.
Indisputably, the ice buildup must be causing a cyclical localized reaction.
Sure. I'll take care of it.
Good idea. Swampy environs and intense cold is bad even for Enclave parchment. Best to lower the risk.
Already warming up. Hope I didn't damage the priceless artifact too much.
Can't make an omelette, as they say.
A lot of notes here. Water damage from the cold and melt, though. Let's see. Materials. That's a visualized pattern. Lots of marginal notes. These have to be from Lucia. She mentions a flood in the later passages.
Sev and I will look at these together with her book then. See what we can learn in context. As Aria says, candle is burning on our flood problem.
Any luck with the materials we gathered from Lucia's workshops?
Yes,
We started with the...
unsurprising.
The book was still useful, all critical.
Without it, they bordered off.
Sort of a...
We suspect...
She covered many topics.
Who exactly...
Brilliant. But
Reams of fiercely...
she was also at one... She worked on something she refused to name, but...
Sadly,
We know the Hearthsiders.
it's evident she There's talk.
called her group the...
I like it.
Her workshop was...
She was fascinated with...
Remember our talk when the effect is we suspect...
How do those...
In her final notes, her obsession on one hand,
In the end, her answer was...
and if so,
She was clearly...
indeed, and
All intriguing. Does she have a...
partially.
Her research led her to one
This confirms our theory.
Her design is detailed, and...
We think the devices we found are the...
So what's the catch?
Lucia's thimble, as it has to withstand.
It's like how mass scale...
Thankfully, that's...
Solar can...
Exactly. The other thing we'll need is
I can handle... Okay.
the flood.
All right. Let's go over everything we know so far.
We know that, for a time, is still not...
Whatever the Hearthsiders went from the uniform, we also know this was done using...
Lucia. And...
Her research forecast the very same flood that...
But... We have...
So Lucia's...
It's less...
whatever work.
What is it like?
I've pored over. I can't shake the feeling we're missing.
The Enclave destroyed? Could that be what?
I can...
Being a weaver isn't about... And regardless of the...
You're right.
Even if it does.
That settles it.
I am going...
Fascinating.
Perhaps not... It's not often I read a margin...
I've always wanted to build something like this. Thank you for your help with that, Bryn. Also, Lucia
Must be her
based on Lucia's notes and
If it can...
agreed. That console that looks like our scry should be the controls for the barrier. The thimble was built to interface with it.
Time to disrupt Asylum. great timing. I owe you one.
You need to come with me. All of you.
We mustn't cause a...
Sure. It's not like we had a dire supplies shortage.
What do I tell the High Enchanter?
Enough. We won't discuss... Identify yourself.
Aurea Harpene.
Or Bryn.
Khan Stuneld, Eye of the... Who's...
Centaur.
Tarza? The Enclave is the envy of the Maida. Clearly one of those nations.
Ormond.
No one sent
You expect me to believe...
when you put it.
This is a misunderstanding. Everything we've done since...
If that is...
No.
Your reckless conduct.
The Surgeborn,
Where did they come?
No one knows.
where they left a trail of
Causing casualties.
And so I called for a until now.
Obviously, it...
Agreed.
A lot of good...
Look, so I suppose we are...
Who
You did.
did we?
While we can agree Arakim breached, the floods were growing worse, even if fixing them has it.
One my band would...
Sorry to interrupt.
She was my mother.
Of course! I mean,
Oh,
there is so much. Aurea comes from a lot.
Your present...
What about the...
What about them?
Shouldn't we work?
We could use...
The Surgeborn.
The scouts do head in.
We'll take our own precautions.
But
Enough!
Bryn. The one that led us here is clearly the one.
Will do. Hey,
Oh,
well, Eric. I never got a...
I think you had it. The eye is...
You and the eye don't...
The eye doesn't like... Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd worry if...
So...
I'm
I have to say...
Oh, yeah. So, what?
How so?
Notice how the axle took my son. And the spindle. It might not sound... That's why he...
So you're not upset that I breached Asylum? Like you're...
I've been pushing to do something. Setting them free wasn't... Frankly, I guarantee he has no...
You don't...
He's got his head in this.
You seem awfully...
I was spy...
Sure.
Just one. Why are you here?
Growing up, I saw the Enclave. The more I I'm here to...
That? If that's truly... Ever since the veil went up, how... It doesn't help.
Who?
Who always been... Our leaders are too preoccupied.
Such a...
The spindle is obsessed with getting the... And the axle is too... But... If they're...
That sounds like an...
The scouts were once points like you, but we were effectively drafted into scout recently. Anyway, that's where my...
Sounds like...
Yuck. I'll come by...
What is that about?
The eye isn't one for...
I talked to you back at...
You got it.
Sev,
No.
you sure?
Bryn, the rest of us are heading...
I...
I am simply telling you, as the foremost...
Can you clarify?
You know exactly what I'm... Focus on your own problems, and don't dare...
If you have a problem with, they may have a clearer...
We'll continue the...
Hirun. I mean, Karnat's me.
You're the Axel.
I am. Mike, it's a pleasure to make the new Surgeborn Psalm.
If there's anything...
What about the supply shop?
What's her help look like? I'd prefer if she could have...
If it's supplies you're after, that...
Incredible...
That's... There's a silver line.
Count me in.
Right. With the However, there's an arcane laboratory where inside the Institute, if the notes the
Of course.
The Surgeborn, the Institute is...
So...
I wish I were old enough as a child, knowing what I...
I'm sorry you...
Thank you.
All the more reason to act...
You'll hear no disagreement.
Sounds like...
That'll...
Now that I'm going to trust you with... Yes. Someone has to keep...
What's your history?
Why do you...
You seem like someone who
I was elected to this.
What made you decide to...
My predecessor was incompetent. The Eye.
Do you think...
You really aren't a... I personally haven't seen any evidence of it. It's easier to break
Isn't that...
the wheels of society if they do any more than... And that's why
How's your work?
he would like to think so.
But...
Khan Stanield wield, but he is our... Which is to say, he is in contrast.
So...
It varies. Some of that's not my maintaining supply.
That all makes sense? All this wreckage scattered throughout the room. And that's
Correct. Though visitors are few and we... What a privilege. I understand that we achieve and...
Excuse me, but Oh, we wanted to formally introduce ourselves.
We didn't catch your name.
Just call me Isla.
We'd actually like...
Shh, sorry. That sounds wonderful.
Pooling resources.
I do want...
Okay.
It's dark.
We know that the Ark's... Any idea?
Some theories, but nothing. I've tinkered. It would make a world of difference.
Consider it.
Bryn's got you covered.
You'll have it.
If you're sure.
Right.
We've been talking... Before Asylum, how did you...
We tracked down a key swap.
Your band is quite...
Dam loves.
But the Eye, no effect.
So,
Me?
the one causing trouble.
Had you allowed Arakim...
Arakim has a I will not be. But I suppose, let us start, please. Share what you hope to accomplish.
Weavers outside the Veil, still.
I shudder to think we have disappointed. Perhaps they still. Though I look forward to seeing what...
Like it or not.
The Enclave stretch our certain elements of our...
Well-
Purely rhetoric. There is no... You, at least...
I do.
Thank you for your...
But...
You... Need I remind you? You would do well to risk loot.
The manifold contains most of the complex and large machinery in Archon's hull.
The incandescent arch houses another loom gate.
Welcome to the Institute. Every one of those constructs you've been beating on was conceived in these halls.
Imagine standing among those weavers in the Enclave's prime, fearlessly pushing the boundaries of enchanting.
Well, they broke everything too. Literally everything. So, they weren't that fantastic.
This passage must be the Enchanter's Way.
The Ramenos Canal, named of course for Arden's right-hand woman, Diane Ramenos.
Marked only.
First hive's up ahead.
Do we have any useful notes on the hives from the previous Axel?
Don't bother trying to deal with them. Too scary.
I'm beginning to get an inkling of why they replaced him. Hold on.
Bryn.
What?
Yeah, about those 90. She just doesn't understand. Especially, we need to be prepared. Do you think?
You haven't told me.
We want the best gear and.
So... Seriously.
Kashar don't.
But you need...
It's been a while.
I'm guessing Aurea doesn't know...
It looks bad.
To be...
Please.
Kaz, the Weave more than okay. We're... Besides, it's not...
You think I'm... No. Era's breath. But you just don't understand.
Whatever this...
No.
But Kaz...
I can't talk about it.
Caspin is not okay. And I don't think bringing her more stuff is the answer. I'd better talk to Aurea.
And then... Purely theoretical right now.
Dom,
Oh,
Everything all right?
yeah.
Have you told...
It feels like
He is easily distracted. He must...
Then why? Sorry. This...
How so?
I need to buy... Invest...
Hey.
You'll help...
Of course.
Amazing.
Great idea. So, I didn't mean to...
You want...
Uh,
Then how come no one... This isn't my life. There are things I should get back to in time, so no...
I'm so sorry.
I...
The truth is, but if you want to leave, so will...
Really?
No catch. Apprentice or full-time weaver. What's important to you is important to all of us. How are you settling it?
Good.
Just?
No. The eye publicly scorched you. Meanwhile, the runners, which, of course...
Sounds like...
Really? No, wait, I know. In particular, they're building...
With the area...
Yes.
Consider it done.
Maybe an odd...
Why not?
I've...
She is a fool. Making yourself...
Yes. I don't want to presume...
And the...
I convinced him I asked...
Lucky for you. Welcome to the camp.
You still...
Yeah.
Let's. Thanks again for offering... It's genuinely...
When's the last time anyone saw her sleep?
It's been weeks.
Is that normal for a Kashar?
No. It might sound...
They're in what?
They've done this. How can this... It makes me question...
Some...
Exactly. Something for us...
I've honestly... It's not exact...
Not just bedtime I'm just...
Bryn,
Me?
I don't think you're not just helping.
Lane. If I can fight an Archon...
That's I was raised as always just be kept.
One of the greatest The Enclave might... I can understand. Oh? My parents... whatever stories Khan Handers had. And we haven't had
Ah, yes.
Wait.
I always am. Habit. But, yes. Did you ever have the urge to press a little harder?
Honestly, if I didn't want to look forward, so I'm here.
I understand the drive. Not to make assumption.
And even though that's...
I understand. Perhaps our present...
The Hearthsiders look more...
What?
I would think someone who grew up disorganized, suspicious of us, and while their leader isn't, they've been stewing in turmoil.
You're right.
So I think Aurea may not want to...
What makes you...
Aurea has a case of hero worship when it comes to the Enclave.
Huh.
It's not to say they're...
Hey, Aurea.
I know. Let's talk at the...
All right. Hi, Aurea. He finds you intimidating.
He does.
He's wondering if he could power this...
Happily. But feel...
Hey.
I was...
How?
Oh, luck. Before I was born. But they decided it would... So she left with me when I...
But this...
The life I should... Because of all this, I never knew.
Is it common?
No. But as you know, it was apparently quite...
So your parents were looking...
Exactly. My great-aunts.
Still. Isn't it a little strange?
She was separate. My mother's a strong woman. She found it too...
But now?
I can't help...
Does your family...
Being here, meeting the hearths...
Knowing now that...
This was meant...
This is...
I am...
So why...
Talking about and frankly...
I guess you... So...
You...
Of course.
Actually, the spindle... It's clear the
Youth...
I know it sounds strange, since she was one herself.
Maybe not.
Good. And...
Kaz. You...
It's just... You know what?
Good news. Aurea's absent. She joked I should play...
I've coordinated lots of a chance to... I'll be there with you then.
It's safe to say
Bryn, she seems...
She's begging.
Not that we could...
More than that. She's...
I have heard...
What kind?
In polytheistic beliefs that are pervasive in the sufferer is the goddess of just... my scrupulosity can be... For example, if...
She might send our point out over and over.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Of course not. I'm so the pop...
Any idea?
I didn't realize...
Though...
You're right.
It's perhaps she...
Kashar.
While most see they believe, and thus...
Really?
The concept of...
All right.
And preempt...
As I said, a scientific...
You think makes sense.
The steps between the main building of the spire and... From your expert...
Great.
Maybe the... If you find some... Ira's plague is wildly...
You're right.
You're seriously telling me Arnhaven is now completely independent of the Sands? Bryn's parents fought in the war. Wow. I guess it makes sense that our history books are a little out of date, but I never imagined so much could change since the Surge.
From what we've gathered, quite a lot has happened inside the Veil as well, has it not?
Yes, that's true, but I don't know how to describe it. The Archon's malfunctioning, the Surgeborn appearing, the retreat to Cassidon's Hold. They're all phases of this one crisis. So even when catastrophe strikes, life here still feels stagnant.